What is up, guys? Rev It Up 7 here. This is going to be an interesting video. I want to encourage other people in the community to do the same thing, the Hot Wheels Velocity X community. Just maybe a picture of it or making a video about it too, but I think this would be fun. Hot Wheels Velocity X gadget tier list. So I made a template in tiermaker.com where, let me cut to it right now. There are 7 categories, all the gadgets, including Quantum Annihilator. And if you just search up Hot Wheels Velocity X weapon tier list or gadget tier list, I'll see if I can change it. Right now it's weapon. You can go in and do this yourself. So 7 categories, all the gadgets, and starting at the top, we got OP Unbeatable. These are gadgets that, if this game was competitive, these would need to be removed or heavily nerfed in their current form. Anybody that plays this game knows what I'm talking about and what weapons or gadgets are going to go here. Then we got Elite, Great, and Good. These are less, they're not a ton of differentiation here. I'll do it as I feel it, but I'll put things in here as I feel necessary. But Elite is basically, if you're good at using this, it almost will feel OP, but these aren't necessarily broken guns, broken weapons, or mechanics. Great and Good. Once again, it's a little maybe too detailed, but if somebody else is making a tier list and they feel like something should go to B that I think should go to A, that's why I included it. Fine, kind of trash, and then Surf Crate level. Anybody that's also played this game knows how bad Surf Crate is as a vehicle. Almost very few uses, and it's like in the middle of the pack too. So it's like, why is this in the middle of the pack if some of the starters feel like they're better cars? Anyway, without further ado, let's get this kicked off with the oil drum. So the oil drum is a weapon because it does a very small amount of damage, but it's more of a strategic gadget. Unlocked from the start, so you can use it in early missions. You can use it if you're just starting the game. This is extremely effective in races, and then in discombobulating, throwing off your opponents when you're doing battles. The weapon damage is microscopic, so I mean it's terrible when it comes to damage. However, it spins the opponent out in a hard to recover from way. If you're battling, and especially in racing, it's almost impossible to stop your spin when you're still facing forward. Very, very useful. This would have to be removed from like a competitive game if this were to be, that's not going to happen. It's been out 22 years. It's not going to be turned into a competitive multiplayer game online, but it's fun to have hypotheticals. I'm going to put this in S tier because it does so little damage, it's hard to kill somebody with it, but you can spin somebody with the oil drum and then smash into them and do a ton of damage and leave them disoriented. And any weapon like the Atom Blaster or the Doom Disc or the Laser Cannon is makes it almost impossible to use against somebody with an oil drum. So this is going to go in S tier. It has to be nerfed if it were to be, balanced. I would say the spin is a lot more gradual, and then you use a lot more ammo. Like maybe full charge, it only has 3 shots. Something like that. Moving on to Ripper Wheels. Ripper Wheels are interesting. They are also unlocked from the start, but they do microscopic damage, but you can swap over to another gadget or gun while you're using them, and that makes them have more utility and strategy that can be involved. If you're flipping through like 7 gadgets, it's not that useful, but if you only have 2 or 3, including the Ripper Wheels, this can be really useful. They look cool. They do a small amount of damage, but you turn them on, smash into somebody, switch over to a laser cannon or something like that. You can do like a nice 3-hit combo. They're not around for a while once you activate them, so that's something that detracts a little bit. But being that they have 2 uses and you can run them in the background with another gadget, I'm going to put these in, I'm going to say good tier, B. Just because the damage is so small, you have to switch back and forth through them. But somebody that's good with the Ripper Wheels, I can see, can be like kind of a boxer in close quarters. Yeah, that's what I'm going to give those. Next up, the Armor Repair. This is immediately going in OP because you have so many uses with a full charge, and everyone is 100% health. I think the way that this could be balanced is an entire charge is 1 heal of half health. And it's not difficult to get your stats up, or not your stats, your points up with stunts, with points like pickups. It's not that difficult. I think a full charge of this would bring your health up half, maybe 30%, something like that, where it's still worth picking up and doing stunts and stuff like that and swapping back over to it to help yourself. But in its current form, it's unbelievably overpowered. That's where it's going. Next up, my personal favorite weapon, the laser cannon. This thing is a sniper. If a direct hit does a ton of damage, there's like partial hits that do a little bit less. It's a hit scan. I'm pretty sure. No, it's not a hit scan. I think it is hit scan. So laser cannon is hit scan, meaning you hit the trigger, your shot's already there. And that's what I like about it. So you can snipe with it. Let me think. Is this hit scan? I'll put a little banner on the video if it's not. But it feels like hit scan, and it performs like hit scan. There's no giant maps in how it was Velocity X. This is a very good weapon. I'm going to put it in there's a lot of ammo, and you get it early on. I'm going to put the laser cannon in elite tier. It's my favorite to use. You can do trick shots with it. It does high damage, but it's not unfair because it takes high aiming skills to use, so that's why I'm going to put it there. Next up, the Doom discs. Actually, let me try to do these in as much order as I can. Atom Blaster. So, obviously, when you're right up against somebody, this gun does a ton of damage, but I'll be honest, the targeting the vertical targeting isn't very good, and it's, in my opinion, difficult to actually line up shots with this gun. Of course, it's automatic. You can land partial shots, but there's certain like vehicles this is useless against, like the Surf and School Bus and something like Diora too. It's cool. It's an automatic like minigun, double miniguns. But I'm gonna just say fine. I'm gonna say fine for the Atom Blaster, and that feels too low. But honestly, like really thinking about it, it's not. It's, in my opinion, difficult to line up shots. And anybody that's good at lateral dashing or hitting you off target is going to neutralize you. It's a line. It's a straight line, and you can really only melt easy mode CPUs, in my opinion. So, C tier for the Atom Blaster. Next up, the Doom discs. Now, these are the coveted, last regular weapon in the game, but unless you somehow line up all 3 shots, which is catastrophic damage, really only the middle one lands, and in that case it's relatively weak rate of fire and not a ton of damage, kind of like a weaker Freon bomb straight on, except it's a little quicker and it's straight. If you can land all 3 shots and line that up, which is extremely difficult to do, this is a great weapon, an A tier in my opinion, but in its current form it's not that easy to use. I'm gonna put it in good. I mean, because it does catastrophic damage, and if you're good at lining it up, that's a different story. But I'm not personally. I never use Doom discs. Make a cool noise and they have a cool icon, but I don't think that these are anything to write home about. Next up, the Sonic Boom. This is a gigantic circumference, like Sonic Boom, damage everything around you gun that doesn't do a lot of knocks to your points when you use it. You can use this quite often in succession too. You don't have to wait for the entire sound effect to stop playing. This is borderline OP. I'm going to say elite because it's just hard to get out of this. If your opponent has a fast car, they can chase you down and just keep using this. Especially they can use it then switch to another gun, use it, switch to another gun. It's a good gadget. It's unlocked relatively early on. Yeah, this is one that's borderline not on the table for like multiplayer when I play with my brother. This one's almost unfair. Let's see here. Next up is the Freon bomb. So the Freon bomb is a unique projectile. It's like a bomb launcher with a decent rate of fire, and it detonates on impact, but it also has some range if it lands before your opponent, and it can explode next to them and do splash damage. That makes it pretty cool. It does good damage. This is a fun weapon to use. I'm going to say great. This is going to be my first great, just because it's easy to land shots with that splash damage, and it does decent damage overall. So, Freon Bomb. And all of these have cool icons and sound effects, and I'm not sure if it's just nostalgia, but this game is very good about that. Sorry for my squeaky chair. I love the icons, seeing them all here. It's pretty cool. They're aesthetically pleasing. All right, next up is the jet boosters. So the jet boosters in battle mode are terrible. They have a purpose, but in battle mode, they're absolutely terrible. I think you do a little bit more damage if you're running into somebody with them and you're contacting their car, making contact with their car, and they're on. But in for battle, they're terrible. This is clear F tier, the worst gadget for battling. That's what this is for, by the way. This is the tier list for battling. But I would want to mention that they have a very important usage in the glitch community, and in like maybe like being a rocket ship with hypermite or something to get to hard to access areas. They have their use, but without like using speed exploits and stuff like that with them, they're terrible as the game is programmed. Like the spamming boost with the jet booster can be really good, but the way the game's programmed and intended to be used, they're terrible, in my opinion. Next up, a personal favorite of mine, the Super Zapper. Now this is a tough one because it's a homing, relatively high damage, like lingering damage weapon that doesn't use a high rate of fire, and it's once again homing. It's not quite the magnet mine, but it's up there. If this lost most of its homing mechanic and was really just within maybe scale 10 feet of the cars, and that's when it would actually work. Like if you're not lined up by 10, 20 feet within the scale of the game, it would home. But in its current form, it's a very strong home. So, or homing ability. I'm gonna put the Super Zapper, once again, really cool sound effect, one of the coolest gun designs. It's borderline OP. But if I put Sonic Boomer in S, I think this is on pace with that. It's on pace with that. Now, we're going to probably have 3 OPs in a row now. Starting off with the Energy Shield. This is obviously OP. I think that you should be able to use it one time for maybe 3 or 4 less seconds with a full charge. In its current form, I think it lasts like 10 seconds, and you're completely invulnerable during this time. And you can use it so many times with the full charge. It's crazy. It's usually hard to find in the battle arenas, which is a decent plus. Same thing with the armor repair, but still, once you find it, it's over. Yeah. All right, last 2. Magnet Mine. I hate to say it. This gun is too damn good. It is a extremely strong home. You could be standing or sitting with a car behind you. You can't even see him. It'll go back there and hit him. This is OP. I wish that it was, maybe 3 shots with a full charge, just as good, just as strong. It's an instant hit, but not as usable. Like maybe 3 shots with a full charge, it takes like 2 or 3 bars every time you use it, which would balance it out a little bit. But in its current state, it is way too good. Let's see here. Quantum Annihilator. So this right here is the current gadget rankings as they stand before the Quantum Annihilator, and we all know where this is going. This is a instant kill. Thought it would still be fun to add, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. I think that this game, other than the repair and armor our gadgets, is relatively balanced. I would nerf anything S tier and above other than the laser cannon. Let me put laser cannon. As much as I love it, I have to put it in A. This makes more sense. If like I was in a fight to the death in this game and I had to pick gadgets, I'm picking those OP ones because they are way better. You could technically swarm somebody with a laser cannon using a sonic boomer. So, as much as I love the laser cannon, it wouldn't win in a fight in my opinion. So, yeah. Let me see. Any changes I want to make? Anything else? Yeah, oil drum's gonna stay there because it completely immobilizes you. But I like this. I like the way this laid out. 4 OP guns though is pretty bad considering that there's only 5, 9, 11, 12, 13, 12. So a quarter of the guns are OP. A quarter of the gadgets are OP because we're not counting the Quantum Annihilator. Yeah. Interesting balancing that could have been done to this game. It could have been balanced a little better in my opinion. But as it stands, this is my tier list for the Hot Wheels Velocity X gadgets. I saw somebody else in this tier maker website made a vehicle tier list. So that might be a video in the future. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Let me know your thoughts on this.